Hello everybody, welcome back to Papel Podcast. My name is Michael, and today we are going to take a little sit down and talk about what the heck is happening with Pangya right now.
Papel Podcast, the number one place for everything Pangya. And now your host, Michael Pierce.
So, as a lot of you guys have heard, probably, over the last few weeks, there was news that Pangya Mobile is closing down. And this kind of came out of nowhere. Some people predicted it because there was about 2 weeks worth of no updates, especially during a season which should have had updates, the Christmas season. And yeah, there was just no updates at all. It was very odd. And then, start of this year, we get the announcement that Pangya Mobile Thailand will be closing for good, I guess. And we're gonna kind of dive into my thoughts on that and everything like that today. But I also want to bring up a few other topics. So firstly, Pangya Mobile has, of course, announced that it will be closing down on the 7th of February. This month of January, they're going to be hosting some sort of event. We don't really know what it is, but it's going to, I guess, commemorate the time that everybody spent on the server and try to be like one last big event for Pangya Mobile. So we'll see how that goes. But the news really shocked me. Like, I love this game so much. Obviously, like, look, my Pangya merchandise in the background. I love this game so much, and I enjoyed Pangya Mobile. We waited for it for over 3 years since it got announced, and obviously had a very rough development cycle. It had a lot of delays and a lot of promises that just weren't met and weren't kept. But once they released it, I thought they would be fine, and I enjoyed the gameplay. It wasn't perfect. It definitely wasn't what classic Pangya is, and I know that deferred a lot of people and didn't want to make them try it out or play it or continue to play it. But I was an active user, and Tyler, my boyfriend, also loves Pangya Mobile. That was his first Pangya experience, and he still loves it. So it is really sad that it's going to be going away, and that the servers are going to be terminating next month, especially because next month is my birthday, so that's also not a great birthday gift to treat, but whatever. But it's just, yeah, I'm really sad about that, and I'm gonna like dive deeper into my thoughts about that whole thing and try to celebrate the server before it goes away, because I think I really need to do that to like have peace of mind myself as a player. But yeah, it is really sad. But it's the first thing I did when I found out about the closure was actually frustration. I was angry because this is the 11th time that Nitrive has basically screwed up something, and out of greed or whatever it is, they have made this franchise keep closing down. And I know it's not directly their fault. I know there's so many factors going into what a game is supported and funded by and if that contract renewal time comes up and they're not meeting their sales quotas, or they just aren't feeling it, then the game gets shut down. So that's the sad reality of it. But I don't know what I should think, because I do think that a big part of Nitrive, the development team itself, especially the artists and the programmers, they're like the really good guys. These people have been on the team. Most of them have been on the team since the original Pangya. They've been there since 2004. 2003 technically. And they've started the franchise and the game that we love and still play even 12, 13, 14 years later. So I love their efforts, and I love their motivation, and that they keep going and they're trying to make this work and become a reality. But I think the higher-ups, I don't know if it is the higher-ups or something, but something's going wrong along the way, which makes systems like gacha really, really awful and very greedy. In Pangya Mobile, there wasn't even a shop, which I know I've heard from other people is apparently pretty standard for mobile games, But coming from Pangya PC and PC gaming in general and console gaming, it made no sense to me that there was no shop system in the game. Like, the point of Pangya, in terms of wanting to buy stuff, is that you want to buy stuff. The only option to get new clothing and new accessories and new club sets was playing gacha. And that didn't make any sense to me because it was completely random. A lot of it was character specific, and it just didn't, like, it didn't entice me, not even one time, as a user of Pangya Mobile, to spend real money on the game. And that's odd because this is coming from Pangya PC, where I would, check every update every week or two. And especially around the festive seasons, I would have to save money because I knew I was going to buy those Christmas outfits. I knew I was going to get the latest gacha for my favorite character. Like, that type of stuff was exciting, and that made me want to spend real money on the game. So I don't get why you would ever take that away by, like, making it a whole chance thing. Like, if I don't have some guarantee of wanting to buy something, then why would I even take the chance? Unless it is something like Scratchy or Gacha, in addition to a set shop system. But I don't know, maybe I have like a different view on that than most people do, but that was one reason why I never felt like I wanted to spend money on Pangya Mobile. But the point aside, I'm gonna ramble a lot in this video, by the way. The point is that I just didn't feel like something was working at the higher ups of Retrieve, because they always seem to go to the route of let's do what other people are doing to try to make the most money. But I feel like it completely disregards the players', like, I guess, respect for their time and effort in the game. And that was a real turnoff, and I never really wanted to spend money anyway. If they had fairer systems, and if they had systems that were more like user-friendly and I guess open and like respectful of the user's time, then yeah, maybe we would be spending a lot more money and they would have more success and they wouldn't be closing down. But I don't know. But it's just, I guess it just makes me sad that the franchise that we've grown up with and we care and love so much has gone this way, where like we've seen the closure of every single server except for Thailand somehow on Pangya PC. We're at a point, especially as avid players who have seen all these servers shut down, where I almost don't trust Retrieve with Pangya anymore. Because I feel like no matter what they do in the future, which we'll talk about later, I feel like no matter what they do, let's say they bring out, I don't know, they bring back Pangya PC or something like that, I don't feel safe investing in that anymore, because I feel like if I give it a few years, it's going to close down again. Because history repeats itself with this stuff, and it's weird, and it's scary, and I don't like that feeling, especially when it's related to Pangya. I want to be excited for everything. I definitely don't want to not trust the company that has made this franchise, but it's kind of gotten to that point for me personally, which is really sad to see. So those are like generally my thoughts for Pangya Mobile closing down. But I think the biggest takeaway for me after all of this is that I might not have as much respect for Retrieve that I did before, but I always do still feel the most sorry and have incredible respect for the developers themselves, because they, no matter what, if it was going to close or stay open, they're the ones who made this possible. They're the ones who stuck with it, and I know how incredibly hard that is, and how much like talent and luck and all sorts of things that you need. So the next topic is something that's very interesting for all of you guys, and it might be like the last glimmer of hope for the Pangya franchise that we can see on the horizon anytime soon. Because right now, after Pangya Mobile closes, the only server that will exist is Thailand for PC. That's the only official server that Pangya's got running right now, right? Which I don't know how Thailand's even existing, but if Thailand closes, or even if it stays open or whatever. What we should expect next is something that came out a few days before. It was about a week before the announcement of Pangya Mobile closing in Thailand, which is why I took it by such surprise, because I was actually going to post a video about how Pangya Mobile is coming to Korea. I think. Maybe. It's a bit confusing. So this was about 2 weeks into December. Retrieve Soft, which is the developers of Pangya, they patented a name and logo for Pangya M. And you can see the logo right here. And straight off the bat, you think Pangya M, Pangya Mobile. And it's also got the same shade of blue that the Pangya Mobile logo uses, and the same yellow color scheme that Pangya Mobile signatures with. So it has to be Pangya Mobile. On top of this, a news article reached out to Retrieve to ask them about this, and they said yes, Pangya M is something that we trademarked recently. Yes, it does mean that we are planning to release Pangya Mobile in Korea in 2020. So I know for a fact personally, people who I've talked to, that I've been lucky enough to talk to, who are on the development team at Retrieve, have been saying since last year that they've been gearing up for releasing it, fully releasing it in Korea. And I guess the plans are starting to come to fruition, and that we'll hopefully see it in 2020, this year. But this came before Pangya Thailand closed down, Pangya Mobile Thailand. So I don't understand why they would close a server if they're just going to open a Korean one, unless it was something to do with a full-on relaunch of the game. Because if you guys know, the way a lot of mobile games work, from what I understand and what I've been told, is they release initially and they're kind of released as a soft launch, which means that most of the key features are there, you can play the game and all that stuff, but a lot of things are going to be missing, a lot of things are going to be coming soon. If you haven't noticed, when you play the game, there's a lot of tabs and stuff that you can click and they'll say coming soon for the expedition and stuff like that. So there's all these features that are missing from Pangya Mobile already, right now. There's a lot of content that we've seen and we know of, and characters and courses that we know of and that we know exist that hasn't been released. And I'm going to dive into this over the next few weeks leading up to Pangya Mobile's closure, because there is so much content that they have shown us, told us about, or that they're hidden in the files of the game, that we can see, what they've been planning in the back stages of the things, that they haven't actually released in the full game. So because it's in this soft launch phase right now, from what we can play now, it leads me to believe that the launch of Pangya M in Korea will be the full official launch, which means that we'll get all those missing features, we'll get all that missing content, we'll get all those missing characters, all those missing courses, and a complete story. So I really dearly Retrieve, please, I hope so bad that they do that, because that would be the redemption that we need for Pangya Mobile. Because if it just dies now, or if it comes back in Korea and there's no difference, then they're not going to learn anything from closing the server, and it's just gonna probably fail again, as awful as it is. So it's so sad that they even have to do this, because they've been doing this for years. Especially with, they announced that Pangya Mobile first got announced in 2014 for a release in 2015. Didn't come out until 2017. Then 2 years later it closes down. So it's it's just this whole big mess, and it just boggles my mind how this franchise is handled so poorly. So just briefly, I do want to mention a quick shout out to the people at Pangya Celebrity, which includes Leah and Don, especially Leah because she has been working incredibly hard on reviving Pangya Celebrity. The servers are now officially open again. They have been closed for many months. I think it might have even been close to a year, and people are loving it. And it's not the upgraded season or anything. It's pretty much still the same, but there are some new features in there that are pretty cool. And the content is slowly coming back, and more than anything, it's just a good fun way to relax and play some classic Pangya. So if you want to play Pangya Celebrity, or if you haven't heard of it, it is a private PC Pangya server. Link is in the description. I'm only linking it for this video. So go check that out and support them and all of that stuff, because they've done an incredible job over the years, and I've always been their #1 supporters. So that's about all I have for today. Those are basically my thoughts on the current state of Pangya. I'm hoping that Pangya M is our savior, our future, whatever it is. Who knows what it's going to end up being, but if it is just Pangya Mobile, if it does redeem itself in a full launch, then that'll be very exciting. I'll be there day one. I'm ready to cover it, I'm ready to play it, I'm ready to reinvest my time into Pangya Mobile again. But we can only hope for the best. But until next time, I will be covering a lot of Pangya Mobile stuff going forward until the closure, and I will be there until the final minute of the server, as always. So be sure to look up that when it's out, and look forward to more Pangya content from Papel Podcast coming your way very soon. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!